Hello learners, welcome again to our chemistry lesson. Today I want us to look at the following terms: valency, oxidation number, charge, and how to write the chemical formula of compounds. Let's begin with the valency. Valency is also known as the combining power of an element. For an element to form ion, it must gain or lose outermost electrons. Let's say we have sodium. Sodium has atomic number of 11 with electron configuration of 2:8:1. Sodium forms ion by losing its outermost electron to form sodium ion. The positive charge, the positive sign that you are seeing here is basically its charge. Let's look at another element altogether. We have magnesium atom, atomic number 12, 2:8:2 is its configuration. It forms ion by losing two outermost electrons, and therefore it becomes magnesium ion with configuration of 2:8. The 2 plus that you are seeing here is the charge of the ion. When the sign comes before the number, it is now called oxidation number or oxidation state. When we omit the sign, we just write 2. This now is what we call valency or the combining power of an element. So learners, precisely we can summarize to make you understand properly the difference between the valency, oxidation number, and the charge. An example is magnesium ion. The charge is 2 plus. Oxidation number, the sign comes before the number. Valency, we just write the number. This number here is the combining power of that element. What is meant by the term oxidation number? Oxidation number is the apparent charge of an element in a compound, or basically the charge of an ion. For example, we have carbon 4 oxide. The 4 is actually the charge on carbon. So that 4 becomes the oxidation number of that element. Therefore, oxidation number can be the apparent charge of an element in a compound, or we can talk about the charge of a compound. For example, carbon 4 oxide as a whole has a 0 charge. So meaning oxidation number is the apparent charge of an element in a compound, or basically the charge of a compound. We also learned something about radicals. We said a radical is a group of atoms that exist together with the net charge and react as a unit. An example is like sulfate ions, carbonate ions, thiosulfate ions, and others. That brings me to a subtopic known as the chemical formulae. Let's have an example. This is magnesium ion, and this is nitride ion. This is magnesium ion, and this is nitride ion. I said before that metals form ion by losing the outermost electrons, and therefore magnesium having atomic number of 12 with configuration of 2:8:2, then it will lose 2 outermost electrons to form magnesium ions. Nitrogen is atomic number 7 with configuration of 2:5, and therefore it will form ion, a stable ion, by gaining 3 electrons, and that is why I'm writing 3 minus here. When we combine these two ions, we form a compound with a chemical formula. Therefore, we are only going to have the valencies of this ion. We'll omit the charges and have the I said before that valencies are normally given in all numbers, and actually they represent the number of electrons that an atom gains or loses. And therefore, I will get the formula of my compound by having the ions written with the omission of the charges. And then we exchange the valencies, and I'm going to have magnesium nitrate. Another example is coming here. Let's say we are talking about sodium oxide. Sodium oxide, sodium has a configuration of 2:8:1. After forming ion, it becomes 2:8 with a positive charge. Oxide is the ion of oxygen. Oxygen is number 8, sorry, with a configuration of 2:6, and therefore oxygen forms ion by getting 2 electrons to become an oxide. For us to get the compound, we omit the charges and get the valencies, and therefore we're going to have sodium and oxygen 2. Then we exchange, we get sodium oxide. An example with a radical now, learners. Let's say we have sodium sulfate. Sodium forms ion by losing one atom's electron to form sodium ion with a plus. Then sulfate ions, we have SO4 minus. We omit the charges, and then we exchange their valencies, and we're gonna have sodium sulfate written like that. Lastly, we can have so many compounds. Say for example, magnesium nitrate. Magnesium is written like that, magnesium ion. Then nitrate we have like that. We omit the charges, we just have the numbers. Then now we exchange the valencies, we get magnesium nitrate. And that is our last example. See you in our next lesson, which will form the second topic of Form 2. Thank you. God bless you.